So today we're going to be doing a session with a little bit more detail about the process of panchakarma as per Ayurveda. So I'll just get Lisa in. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Here she is, looking beautiful.
Hello. That looks beautiful too. You're in the
Yes, we've got
mountains.
the mountain here and the Ganga River
Mm.
behind today. So yeah, I'm actually at a yoga school today. We just finished a
Mm.
class, and so we've got a couple of students joining us to learn about panchakarma as well. So
Cool.
today,
And this is where you're teaching now, right?
yeah,
The,
yeah, we just do a couple of classes as part of the TTC.
cool.
So it's been really, really good. So yeah, how are you?
I'm well, really well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been up early today and yeah, had this is
nice.
my third call already, I think.
Oh God.
So no, I'm really well. Yeah,
Good.
good day.
I don't know if it's just me, but it's a really busy time at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
There just seems to be a lot happening, but in a good way. So, yeah.
Lots of movement. I think it's often at the end of the
Yeah.
year, things are kind of closing up, and then there's yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
but flow
Right.
with it. Yeah.
Shall we jump in to our
Let's
topic?
do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Hmm.
Good. Okay. So, guys, we're going to be talking about Panchakarma in a little bit more detail. And I'm thinking and hoping that we will be able to share maybe a little bit of our own experience in actually having these treatments. Otherwise, it is just a theoretical thing that you can read from a book, like this is what happens, this is what happens. But Lisa and I have both been through the process of a lot of the processes in Panchakarma, not all of them, but we're happy to share that from real-time experience and also look at the maybe the more mental and emotional aspects as well that might be associated with each Panchakarma treatment, and also which disorders and diseases it will be helpful to treat. Okay.
Hmm.
So shall we start off by just going through each of the panchakarmas?
Yes,
What do you
I think
think?
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
cool.
also just to mention that like it's an individual process, right? And these are the five options. Not everyone undergoing panchakarma is going to do all of these treatments because
Yeah,
it depends on what's going on for you, what imbalances you have. So yeah, so just keep
yeah,
that in mind. Mm.
yeah. Thank you for mentioning that, Lisa, because it is really important. So many people go to panchakarma and expect to have all five, as if all five are needed.
Mm.
That sometimes, we don't actually need all of them,
Yeah.
and the doctor will decide which ones are suited to you. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, so just an introduction. Punch meaning five, and
Mm-hmm.
karma is actions. So our panchakarma is the process of five different actions that are created and facilitated in the body with the use of herbs, oils, and other natural substances to expel excess dosha. So, understanding that the root cause of disease is excess dosha, alongside poor digestion and excess toxin sitting in the tissues that has spread from your digestive tract and entered into the tissues as the main cause of disease. So, panchakarma is a way of expelling that excess dosha. And essentially, what that does is it brings the excess doshas back into the core center of the three areas of digestion that we work with: stomach, intestine, and colon. And they are expelled from there. And then there's some other the other two aspects which we'll mention as well that kind of facilitate that process. Okay, so that's the process. What we're doing is with five actions to expel the dosha from this kind of central passage and other means. So the first one, how should we work through it? Should we work from Basti? Should we start with Vata?
Maybe just talk about the preparation for them, because like
Yes.
so the first stage we want to lubricate the body.
Yeah.
So these toxins that are stuck in the tissues, we want to soften them up so that they can be expelled. So the first step would be to keep the body warm. So no cold showers, just warm showers, warm food, and ghee is taken internally as well. So to lubricate the body. And you notice after 5, 6 days, you get this beautiful glow on your face from the ghee that you're sometimes eating, sometimes drinking. This is a lot of people's least favorite part, but you get through it. It's a few minutes in the morning where it's you can
How
the
did you
taste.
consume it, Lisa? How was your experience with the ghee?
Um, I got it in a little cup, but I didn't have
Uh,
that much actually.
uh,
Maybe so it started with maybe a tablespoon, a little more, and then it worked up till I want to say maybe 100 milliliters or
well, that's quite.
something. No, no. Yeah, no, I would say 50, maybe 50 milliliters. Yeah.
Yeah. And how was it
So
okay swallowing it? Did you just kind of do it in one gulp?
I just kind of did it. I think I
Yeah.
maybe closed my nose off and just said a little prayer and then just did it. Yeah, and I've
Oh,
done more gentle panchakarmas at home, like with the guidance
mhm.
from a teacher at home. And then I've only taken like a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons maximum, so smaller amounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. From my experience of ghee, I remember in Govardhan I didn't actually take ghee. They didn't give it to me,
Hmm.
which was interesting. Not sure why. So I didn't have that. But when I had a Ayurvedic treatment here, I did it, and they mixed it with like this herbal tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how Vaidyagram will do it on our
Hmm.
retreat, but it made it very easy
Hmm.
because you kind of drink this tea, and then a bit of ghee goes in with it, and because you're swallowing the tea, the ghee just kind of slurps down with it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more comfortable, and I thought, well, maybe that's a good technique to make it easier to consume.
Mm.
So there is a little bit of uncomfortability, but then it's just literally what 5 seconds, and then
Yes.
done.
Yeah.
So and you know what? I didn't notice that, but yeah, my skin was really glowing
Yeah.
in that time. So yeah, yeah. So
Marcus
yeah,
says
that
Maggie brings all the boys to the yard. Yes. The glow, the glow, the
glow of
ghee
ghee.
glow.
Oh gosh, so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, consumption of ghee. What else?
Uh,
Yeah, keeping everything warm.
massages as
Oil
well. So
massage.
you get abhyangas, which is or snehan, it's another name for it. So it's oil massages where these beautiful herbal oils, where sometimes up to 100 herbs are concocted into the oil. So you really support the body by getting the oils that you need. So they're specifically chosen for you. So, I mean, the skin absorbs it all. Like we can take in so
Yeah.
much information through the skin. So, yeah, so that's another big process of it, a big part of the process of preparation for it. Yeah.
And the steam box, isn't it? So
Yeah.
oil massage, and then you sit in a steam box, and all that oil seeps into your tissues. And it's like a detergent, isn't it?
Mm.
For the toxins that are sitting in the cells, it kind of scrapes and lifts up, or it excites the dosha, doesn't it? Makes them excited,
Yeah.
um, and then they more easily traveling to the digestive tract to be expelled.
Yeah.
So that's the preparation process, and that's normally what, a few days, I would say, 3 to 4 days.
4 or 5
Yeah,
days, a little bit
yeah,
depending on what state you're in and how long you need. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's your preparation process that will be going on, and then one of these five methods of treatment will be used. So
Yes.
we'll start with the Vata dosha.
Okay.
So we'll talk about basti treatment. So this is one of the panchakarmas. So this eliminates the colon, and it does that through a process of um, enema, you could say, medicated enema, which could be watery herbal decoction, or it could be oil, in which case the oil will also probably be infused with herbs as well. So what happens is you'll lie on a massage bed and everything's done very politely, and they will insert a small tube into the anus, and the fluid will start going into the bowel. And then once you can't hold anymore, you have to try and hold it. This is what my experience was opposite. You have to try and hold it for as long as you can. And then when you're ready, you can get up and then go to the toilet. And then it all just comes out. And then that eliminates the excess air. So it really that solution or decoction or oil will flush through the colon and just take everything out. So, I mean, I think this is so amazing, thinking about how much is probably stored in our colon from, too much gluten or wrong diet, or when we've been stressed, constipation. I think the main reason for malabsorption issues, vitamin deficiencies, is because the wall of the colon is not absorbing food. It's not absorbing the nutrients. So that basti is going to be so beneficial to cleanse the entire colon, so that when you do eat again, you're going to properly absorb the nutrients from the food, and everything will work much better, and your flow will be much more smoother.
Yeah, and it's also a lot more gentle than doing, like, I know people do this kind of stuff with just coffee, like a coffee enema or just water, and that can be really imbalancing for the body. It's quite aggressive. And
Yeah.
since we work with the oils and the herbal concoctions that are specifically made for you and what you need, you're at the same time as you're like cleansing the colon, you're nourishing it again. So you're lubricating it again. And those herbs are also taken up by the colon. So it's a really quick way of getting those herbs into your system. So you notice a big effect quickly, like your mind calms down, like especially if you have vata symptoms or
Yes.
anxiety, a lot of stress, multitasking, difficulty focusing, difficulty starting and finishing projects, feeling overwhelmed, fear, all of that, it just
Goes
subsides.
right.
Yeah. So and it stays, right? It just balances the body and gives it those herbs that it needs. And then after the treatment, you also get herbs to take home to continue to nourish yourself and
Yeah.
take care of your mind and your physical body, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny you say that. I remember when we were in pharmacy and we learned that the rectal route is the fastest route
Mm.
to get something into your system.
Yeah.
So yeah, those vata balancing herbs will go, absorb really, really well in, and then make a direct effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, and thank you for mentioning those disorders that we might be helpful to treat. Anxiety, one of the biggest ones, isn't it? Just like this
Yeah.
nervousness as well, fear, just overwhelm. It can bring
Mm.
it down. On a more
Yeah.
clinical level, like constipation would be the classic,
Yeah.
the classic one that helps to cure, not cure, but helps to reduce symptoms.
Also IBS and like
IBS as
other like
well.
irregularity in your bowel movements. And
Yeah,
I know so many people who've just gotten an IBS diagnosis, and it's very complex. Like it's such a short short name for so
I
many
know.
different conditions. And here we'll really get to the root with what it is going on for you. And yeah, so it can really empower you to understand your body and then like actually start to heal this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, IBS, malabsorption
Yeah.
as well. And I think malabsorption is really a tricky one, because people don't really notice it until later on, where they've investigated a particular issue. Why is my vitamin level like this? Why is this? Why is this? And it's just a simple thing of you're just not absorbing as
Mm.
much. So malabsorption, celiac,
Mm.
it helps a lot with that. If you're gluten intolerant, I mean, there's still other aspects to it,
Yeah.
but cleaning the colon will be hugely beneficial to make the colon less kind of gunky. So it doesn't only get rid of excess air, Busty. It actually facilitates getting rid of most of the doshas from the colon,
Mm.
all of them. It will take out the excess heat and excess liquid, and it will take out the excess mucus
Mm.
as well. So Busty is a really multifunctional treatment, which you'd have on panchakarma, and you might not just have one.
No, I think I had maybe six. Like
Oh
every
wow,
every second day would be a water one, and second day an oil. And then sometimes
nice.
it would be a bigger one to like cleanse out. Sometimes it would be a smaller one for me to be able to hold in for like up to 2 hours sometimes. So they
Wow.
were really working individually from day to day, seeing how I responded, and yeah, it's quite a detailed process. Yeah, so it could be. I did it towards the end of my panchakarma. I don't know. Maybe there's different ways
Yes,
of doing it too. Yeah.
yes, no, same. It was
Yeah.
it was towards the end of the panchakarma rather
Mm.
than the beginning.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add for Busty? Like anything? Did you feel uncomfortable?
No, I mean it's like it's a bit of a weird situation, right? But I think no, they made me feel very comfortable. And for them, it's like a medical procedure, you know. They don't
Yeah,
like it's very professional. They're just they're looking at you as a body that they're giving a treatment, like end of story. It's very
yeah,
clean and safe and respectful. So yeah.
same. Same for me.
It's just afterwards, like holding it in was sometimes a little bit like, oh.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, but they were also like, and my doctor also encouraged me. He was like, if you feel like you need to go, then just go. Like, there's no,
yeah,
yeah, no pushing yourself there.
yeah. Same when I had it. It was a therapist, and she said like, yeah, if you need to just go, just let it out, but try to hold it as long as you can.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I was a bit worried before. I don't know why. There is always a bit of fear about someone playing in that area, like, medically. Oops. So yeah, like you don't. There is a little bit of uncomfortability. Sorry, my goodness me. There's a bit of uncomfortability in it. But then I think once you get over that and they do it professionally, it's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. You don't really notice it at all. So yeah, if anybody's got worries or concerns about it, don't worry. It will be fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shall we move on?
Yes. Next one. Shall we talk about Virechina?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, my favorite one. So Virechina is another panchakarma which works in removing excess heat from the body. And this is incredibly powerful for heat imbalances. Obviously, anyone that's suffering with any inflammation in the body, hormonal imbalances, acidity that might be there. Even stress, anger, burnout, this kind of activity that we're very prone to with modern
Hmm.
lifestyle. It's a process of getting rid of that excess heat. So as Lisa was mentioning how the doshas get excited and the body gets lubricated, it what happens with Virechina is that you will consume a small glass of herbal decoction when your body is ready with the doctor, and then they will guide you on the process for that day. But generally, it will be a process of waiting, and your bowel will start doing movements, maybe every hour, every 2 hours, depending on how heavy the Virechina treatment is. And to facilitate that, you will be drinking warm water. I would pace around my room. I always found a little bit of movement helpful to get it moving. And yeah, that's it. Actually, I'll tell you, I'll share something quite interesting about when I first did it. I had to write down in detail exactly the nature of each movement, how many times I went, what color it was, how much was there, like, and it was quite a journaling experience of this list of bowel movements. And yeah, so that's Varechana, and it lasts. I would say if you start it at 9 o'clock, it normally finishes around 3 or 4 o'clock, right, in the afternoon, depending on, or maybe earlier. I don't know. I suppose
Depends.
everyone's different. Yeah, everyone's process will be different. But
Yeah, I think mine went into the evening. It was a
wow,
long, long day. And you don't eat. Maybe good to
yes.
mention in this time because you just let the body release. And then towards the end of the day, you get like a very simple meal, like some
Yeah.
rice soup. Um, yeah, and I actually didn't only have the liquid, I also had a paste before. So it looked a bit like
Oh,
Chyawanprash, which is like a jam that's made with some sugar, honey, different herbs and spices. So I first ate that, and then I drank the mixture of, I think it was castor oil and maybe milk, and yeah.
okay. I see.
Yeah.
And
So
how would you? How was the experience like for you?
it was not very comfortable. I, yeah, I think I went 37 times. So
Wow.
I had to, yeah, there's a lot of cleaning to be done.
Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I can't believe we're talking about this openly, but it's, I mean, it's our bodies, right? We do these things every day. Like it's, um, yeah, but, it was a long day. It was very intense. And then when I ate in the evening, I actually felt nauseous. I felt quite nauseous throughout the day.
Okay.
And when I purged, there was actually some of this paste left in my stomach. So
Oh
it didn't
wow.
all come out. So there was some disturbance there. The doctor was quite surprised actually that I hadn't processed everything yet. So
Right.
yeah, so
Oh,
it's but
okay.
it's yeah, it's very individual for some people, and like some of the people I did the panchakarma with had like a very smooth experience, and like you said, we kind of done in the afternoon pretty early, so I think it can be very different. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, mine was quite fine actually when I've had it. Um, I think one of the things I was fearing was it's going to hurt,
mm,
but it was absolutely painless,
mm,
and it was relieving. Um, I would say psychologically, I noticed a lot more with Virechina. I started to get these really crazy cravings for foods
mm,
that I don't particularly feel are good for me. But yeah, like I started craving pizza and ice cream and all these really wrong type of foods. It was very bizarre. And then once the Virechina process was finished, I was fine after that. So I think all that pitta that went into my intestines to be flushed out was like, like burning inside. And then obviously I was releasing it. But it
mm,
was an interesting experience psychologically for me,
mm.
Virechina.
Yeah, this, I mean, this can be a really powerful way to clean out sugar cravings,
Yes.
a relationship with food that is complicated, eating disorders, things like that, because it really puts you in touch with like the emotions behind what is going on and your relationship to it. And we will be
Yeah.
there, like to guide you through that. Like the doctor will take care of the physical side of things and like make sure, that you're in the right place in the process. And sometimes they need to stop the process as well if you're going too long, if you're getting too tired and weak from it, like, so, and they will be there for that and take care of that, and we will be there for that emotional part. So
Yeah.
you can come to us and say, hey, I'm craving pizza. What's going on? And so we can really work through that. So this is a beautiful opportunity to look at, okay, what is my relationship with food and myself? What emotions come up here, and
Yeah,
what needs to go, and what gets to stay?
yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, panchakarma is a lot about letting go,
Mm,
isn't it, of something
yeah,
and ridding of something that was in within you.
yes,
And that excess dosha would have been driving a lot of your thoughts and actions and habits and everything. So
yes,
to have to let go of it, it's a bit of a weird process, um, but well worth it to go upon.
yeah.
Where can we do this? So we're actually running a retreat next year. Is it Ashita? We're doing a retreat next year in March where people will be able to do these processes in a safe environment with well-trained doctors, with our support there to handle the logistic side of it, the emotional aspects of it, the psychological um, component to these processes. So if you would like to join us, there'll be plenty of details available after this live, and also you can head to Lisa's bio where the link to her website is there where you'll get details. Otherwise, you can message us directly and we're happy to help. So
Yeah.
yes, it's going to be in Coimbatore.
So it's
In
South
South.
India, just north of Kerala, in the state called Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu.
But also autoimmune disorders,
Mm,
Virachana is very good for. Skin disorders as well, acne, uh, PCOS, all these heat-related problems will be helped with Virachana.
yeah.
Uh,
So we're getting a question about if you can do this at home. Any recommendation on what to drink? Are there any places in the UK? I would not just do this on your own
at
at
home.
home. This is a very big process where we first take in your health information, tailor a program to you. There's a doctor there guiding you through it. It's not something taken lightly, because it can actually cause more problems if you do it wrong than it will be helpful. So there might be places in the UK. I don't know of one that I can recommend.
Neither do I.
But uh,
Neither do I.
um,
That's why it's advisable to take the time to travel, to go to a centre and to do it. Um, and that environment is so important for these
yeah,
processes. I know
needs
we're
to be
trying to,
warm.
yeah, yeah. And,
Mm,
and also, this is not a quick fix. This is not like taking a medicine and then it's done. It requires a certain environment for it to work properly. And so taking some time out, traveling to a place where you're supported for it, it's going to be more beneficial than trying to do it at home, when you've got your usual schedule happening and etc., etc., because you're kind of in the environment that caused all that pitta imbalance sometimes. So you've got to get yourself out from it to heal from it a little bit.
mm. And then also, of course, make changes when you come home to not just go back to doing the same
But
things that caused it.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's an opportunity to kind of take a step back and reassess. Okay, how am I living? How am I eating? What are my relationships like? What works? What does not work? And to just give you a bit of just move it away a little bit, so get some perspective on it. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the key with Ayurveda, is that it allows people to transform. That's the whole crux of it. If you're ready to change things, then it's going to work for you.
yeah,
Um, so we hope to create an environment where we can facilitate that change and help us all go towards that change. And even if it's a small step, it doesn't have to be a complete life transformation.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. So all the information is, if you go to my bio, you find so Mini Mishra, we're doing a retreat in March at a place called Vadiagram. So you can find all the information in my bio. There's a whole page with the address and information about the center. You can learn more. Join us 4th till 18th of March next year.
March. So
Shall we
that's
move
Virachana.
on to the next? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered everything with Virachana.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, just to also, lastly, add, yes, there is a little bit of weakness, as you mentioned,
Mm,
after it. And you do feel a little bit tired, but the effects are well worth it.
yes. Yeah. And then you start to build up the body afterwards.
From
It's
there,
very gentle meals, and you
yeah,
get everything you need to support yourself through it. Mm.
good. Okay, so the third big one is, which I've not experienced myself, so maybe I don't know if Lisa you have, is Vamana,
Mm.
which is the therapeutic vomiting, more so for excess kapha,
Yeah.
so excess water and earth elements.
Yeah.
So this is very useful for kapha related disorders like diabetes, swelling, um, obesity,
Edema. So
edema,
edema. Mm.
lymphatic issues, maybe even psoriasis if we're talking about the skin, even something like heavy depression will be useful to do Vamana. So again, it will be a process of being in a very safe environment and consuming some kind of decoction that will cause the body to take out something from the stomach, and then that's the process of it. And I'm pretty sure it won't be as dramatic as when we vomit when we're sick,
Mm.
because I mean this is just a kind of thinking that I have, in that, you know, when we're vomiting because we're sick, it comes from a very pressurized protective force, doesn't it? Like, get out from the body. Whereas I can imagine panchakarma vamana is a little bit more paced, because we're kind of anticipating what's going to happen, and it's more of a gentle experience of cleaning the stomach of excess mucus. And again, once that happens, it allows the stomach to properly digest food afterwards. So
Yeah.
sugar digestion is much better for the body, or just generally, you know, the whole process of what's happening in the stomach. Your food is going to digest much more efficiently with
Yeah.
after doing vamana. It cleans the excess mucus out. And actually, I think that if you did have vamana, it would be one of the more beginning ones, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If,
My
it
doctor
makes
actually
sense.
said he would take 3 weeks for only Vamana. So he would sometimes
Really?
have people come and do only that, because he said it's such a big process that he would want to make sure they have enough time afterwards to recover.
Oh,
So
wow.
preparing for a week, doing the practice, and then having two weeks afterwards just to come down, and for him to observe the patient and make sure that everything's fine before he would let them go again. So yeah, so I haven't done it either, so I don't have personal experience with it. Um,
Mm,
but I know that I think it's a tea you drink, right? You drink a lot of water,
yeah,
I think,
it's some
to kind
kind
of
of, yeah, some kind of consumption of liquid
mm.
of some kind.
So
So
yeah, but I don't know how they look at it at the Vajragrama, and how they
yeah, I
practice
mean,
it.
even
So
if no one has the vamana, it would be, we could even ask the doctors to ask, you know, just to learn about it.
mm,
For people that work as Ayurvedic practitioners that are joining, or just interested, I'm sure the doctors would be happy to speak to us
yeah,
about what it entails and the
yeah,
benefits of it.
absolutely.
And emotionally, when we're looking at kapha, or the, you know, the vomiting, because that vamana effect works more on that udana cleansing, doesn't it? Vayu cleanse. So that whole direction from the stomach upwards, it's all connected to self-expression, to confidence. Grief also sits on the lungs, so pushing the energy up through that area could help to work with unresolved grief
Mm,
as well, you know, to get things off your chest, as they say. And yeah, the kapha dosha is very an emotional dosha. It is, because it's the water, so it carries a lot within it. So, getting rid of that excess cover can really help with
Mm.
emotional blockages, and just being able to feel lighter within yourself and less heavy and dense. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Hmm.
great. So that's Vamana. And then we've got the
Mm-hmm.
last. Did you want to add anything to that, Lisa?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it. Yeah.
Good. Okay, and the last two are bloodletting, so Rakta
Mm-hmm.
Moksha, and the Nasya, so
Mm-hmm.
administration of medicines through the nasal passage to clear the sinus head region. So we'll
Mm.
very quickly talk about bloodletting because there's not much we can share. Again, it's something that we wouldn't have experienced. Hello. So traditionally, this process was done with leeches, where leeches were attached to sites in the body and excess blood has been removed, and that helps to filter the blood. So we don't see this process nowadays. I don't know if you've had any kind of knowledge or experience seeing this. Have you, Lisa?
I know that it's being done. I think it's actually you're allowed to do it in Germany even, but there's a lot of regulations around how to treat the leeches, and
Ah,
I think you can only use them once for hygienic reasons, and yeah,
yes.
but I'm not definitely not an expert in this. This is yeah, and I haven't had it done myself either. Um, someone says we do it at our villa in Sri Lanka. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it must be happening in places, but the thing about the cruelty to the leeches is
Mm.
one aspect, isn't it? And also the hygiene, like you said, Lisa,
Yeah.
an important part. But I mean, from what I read from Dr. Ladd, it's a very, very effective treatment for getting rid of
Yeah.
so many diseases.
Yeah. So
And
it's cleansing
Lord
the blood.
exactly cleansing the mud. Lord Dunbunthri is depicted with the leech in his hand. So that's how powerful that treatment would have been in being able to cure things. So, but I don't
Mm.
think we'll be experiencing that at Vogel unless we get some kind of surprise on it. But from my knowledge, we're not going to be. But the retina is
Yeah.
also very effective for getting rid of excess heat.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Shall
then
we talk
Nasya,
about Nasya? Yes.
yeah.
One of my
Lisa, do you have
favorites.
experience of it?
Mm.
Would you
So,
like to share? Because I have very less experience of Nasya.
yes. So Nasya, so sometimes this word is used for different things. So now we're talking about the Nasya treatment,
Mm-hmm.
where you put oil, you're lying down and your head is back and you're putting oil into your nostrils, and then it's kind of a you breathe in really heavily, like, and then you have someone kind of pulling it up, and it really goes up into your brain. It's very intense. um and then so you do it in a specific patterns. It's kind of like yeah, it's very intense. It's not just the physical action of the oil going in, but the breathing and the pattern and the whole practice of it. It's just blows your mind. It's very intense. And then afterwards, you smoke. So I smoked turmeric actually afterwards to kind of balance out the oil, so it would like dry it up a little bit. So I've got this beautiful little pipe. It's like a little pot kind of with the turmeric on top, like a little bong, but with turmeric in
Wow!
it. Yeah, it's really funny. I was like, it felt really forbidden. Yeah, and then you smoke this turmeric to kind of open up and to clear the sinuses even more, and to reduce, like, balance out the oiliness and the lubrication of it. And afterwards, I needed to lay down the whole afternoon and rest. It was very intense. It's like having an intense breathwork session, or Um,
Mm.
yeah, it was a lot. I had to close my eyes and just rest. Because it was felt like it was affecting the whole brain, the whole head. It was
Wow.
yeah, intense, I think is the word I've used several times now to describe it. But
Mm.
very clearing. And I've also had a lot of sinus infections as a child, ear infections, like countless ear infections, throat infections. So like this area has been very affected for me. So I think that also in fact contributed to it being such a strong experience, because all of that was just cleared, and afterwards actually haven't had any problems with it.
Oh,
So
wow. Do you
yeah,
notice the reduction in the symptoms or tendency towards those
yes.
problems? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my first, like, especially in winter, if I was working a little bit too much, not sleeping enough, traveling too much, like as soon as I was a little bit under stress and pressure, I would start to feel my sinuses right away.
Hmm.
I would get pain here, and yeah, and it's if you've experienced that, you know it's not very comfortable. And so yeah, so this is the treatment of it, and then the oil you're using in the treatment, you can also use daily, just in the morning, like just putting in your
Ah,
nose, and so I put about 2 drops in each, and just suck it up a little bit, and just to support the nose. Muskan, a healer to be, who's in here, has a beautiful nasya oil that she sells from India and produces with the traditional recipes, and she has lots of information about it. But it's really powerful, and because if you think of it, the nose, it's where we breathe, right? We receive life through the nose. So to
yes.
keep the nose clean, keep the hairs healthy, so that we're able to filter out toxins and pollution, all of that. It's yeah, really important to take care of it. Yeah.
And
Have
so
you?
would you say it also works on like a psychic, not a psychic level, but yeah, like mentally you feel a bit more clear
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I felt like it was really coming up in my
into your head?
into my head. It felt like it was like cleaning out my head, like a mental
That's
cleanse. So
amazing.
yeah, it's very intense. And I can put the link to this Nasya
Yeah, the
oil in the
Nassia
chat
oil.
later
Yeah.
when we share the video. Yeah. So if you have any throat, sinus, nose, ear problems, anything like that going on, or just feeling like the mind is overworked, busy thoughts, difficulty making decisions, compulsive thoughts, any of that, it will also work on cleaning that up.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be
Yeah.
amazing if we get Nassia and then, if people want to, we can share about things in the sharing circles on this trip. Because when you do something like that, it is nice to talk about your experience and, even your own personal experience of it. Oh, I felt scared, but then I was okay. And this happened and then this and then I had this sensation and feeling and I feel like it reflects like this in my life, and then that can lead to so much change
Yes.
just reflecting on these processes. Yeah.
Yeah. And also when we gather in a circle, right? It's we all contribute to everyone's experience. We learn
Mm,
from each other, and it's because like we are organizing it, but it's not a pyramid, right? We're a circle. We're there all as equal humans, and we're all putting
yeah,
in, like we all get our slice of the circle. We're all putting in energy into it. So, and the beauty I experience is so often in circles and ceremonies is that many of the people coming have similar stories, similar
yes,
patterns, things they want to work on. And then suddenly you're not just sitting there yourself with your stuff and your own experience and your own perspective. You get 20 other perspectives. And
exactly.
I had a ceremony this summer, and a lot of women were working with their mothers, so their relationship to their
Mm,
mother. So getting all these beautiful inputs on it, and it's just so helpful, and we're not alone. We're never alone with our stuff. We sometimes we think we're so special, and I'm the only person in the whole world that is experiencing this. Oh, poor me. But
Yeah,
no, never, And so if you feel called to coming to the retreat, then this is for you. And then come and bring that, and trust that the people there are going to also give you the input you need. And we are there together, supporting each other through this process.
absolutely. Yeah, that's also one of the things with circles that always is kind of this key takeaway. I'm not alone in this.
Mm.
Really, and it's funny because I think the people that attract into a circle, there's a reason why they were attracted into that circle, and maybe that's we're there to learn from each other and help each other through it through our similar experiences. So I really excited to bring that together with Ayurvedic treatment to see how it's all going to blend and weave and what the outcomes is going to be. So yeah,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
So that's the process of panchakarma. Should we talk about a few other treatments just for a couple of
Sure.
minutes?
Yeah. And also maybe
Because
like afterwards,
and
like
post,
the
yeah.
post treatment. Yeah.
So what other treatments have you had, Lisa, when you've had Ayurvedic treatment, panchakarma?
I had Shirodhara,
Oh yes.
which is an oil treatment. So you have a stream of oil pouring down on your third eye, and it's in this beautiful stand. So it's hanging from above you, and then sometimes they swing it from side to side. So you have this warm oil, just like stroking your forehead. It's the most glorious thing. um, I don't know if I had so many other ones. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, just the Shirodhara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Shiro. I had a lot of it actually. I remember I did 7 days of it continuously.
There was also the with the
Pinda,
rice was it,
Pinda
yeah,
Sweda with the podli.
Pindasveda, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's little bags of rice and herbs and powders that yeah, Vayanga Svedana, yes. Um that you kind of stamp the body with. So you get these herbs into the skin. And it's to dry up the oiliness, I think, like to it's like kind of balancing that up, and then give the body the herbs it needs.
yeah. It's very
Yeah.
warming as well, isn't it? I think it's very
Mm,
good for deep muscle pain
mm,
or
yes.
bone disorders. Like it's very good for that. I used to just love it because it's so warm and comforting. So it's like a heavy, like a heavy, warm, moist thing to the body.
Mm,
So yes, that the Pindaswada is there, the Shirodhara is there. I also, because I went for skin problems,
mm,
and one of the things that they did for me was they would literally wash my body with warm
mm,
neem water. Um, so
mm,
yeah, I mean, I was still lying on the bed, but it was like a neem body wash and scrub as well. So they'd scrub the body with herbal
mm,
powders, maybe leave that on for a while, and then rinse the body with this warm neem water.
mm,
And yeah, and then I think after that I did Shirodhara. So, and I remember because at that time I had kind of acne coming out. That's one of the symptoms I was getting. And I distinctly remember after the treatment, I'd come out and look at my skin, and the okay, the spots were still a little bit there, but the redness was completely gone. Like they weren't inflamed, and the skin wasn't inflamed. So it shows that that whole process just calmed everything down so much. So it was very interesting to observe with that. So yeah, the neem wash. I mean, what else have I had? Mm, yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there's other things that go along with it, like you might get a little bit of a head massage before they do treatments. Foot massage is there when they do the Abhyanga. Um, But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what other treatments people have. Oh, the Kati, is it Kati? Maybe Muskin can help us. The Kati Basti? Is it
Oh
Kati
yeah,
Basti?
so the dough
Dough.
dams. Oh
Yeah, then they
yeah,
fill it with
I've
oil and ghee. That's really good for bone problems, isn't it? For joint issues,
yes.
arthritis and things like that.
You
I
can
remember
also
I had it across. Gone.
no, yeah, like on you can do it in so many different parts of the body, right? Like Pati Basti, yes. So you
Yeah,
can do it around the eyes. You can do it on the
that's right.
heart. Um,
Yes,
you can do it on
yeah.
the
Your
heart
lower
or on your
back.
lower back. Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
had it on my eyes, and it's so bizarre because your eyes are open in this well of ghee. I remember I got the therapist to take a picture because it was so freaky. Like you look through, and you're in a pool of ghee because your eyes are filled with all this ghee and oil, and it's so bizarre. But apparently, very good for eyesight. Very,
Yeah.
very good for nourishing the eyesight. So.
Yeah. So Noskan says for each organ, there's different names for these bastis. There's one for your knees, Yanu
Yes,
Bastu.
yeah, Janu.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever it is, if you guys want to come to get treated, there'll be a way to work around it
Yes,
in some way or
absolutely.
another. So, but I mean, yeah, just to finish off in summary, um, there's nothing to be afraid of with these treatments. If you're uncomfortable at any point, there will be help and support and respect for your wishes. We will be there to help explain it if the doctors are not able to explain it clearly enough. So we can help you through that. And we'll be facilitating it with extra additional aspects like sharing circles and things like that. And it's a very, very worthy investment for your health to start cleansing the body, to reset the digestion, to give yourself a fresh mind, a fresh start. And it's going to be a worthy investment in your future. So, yeah, that's what I would say about my summary of panchakarma. And I think it's something that we all will have to do on some level in the future with the direction of everything that's happening with the planet and the earth and the systems of food and water and soil and everything. Keeping our body clean is going to be paramount. So it's best to
Yeah.
start now.
Yeah, and we did a second live a few weeks ago. You can find that on Nana's Instagram. So if you want to learn a little more, we talked a bit about, yeah, what different conditions panchakarma can be helpful for, like so uncurable chronic diseases that can sometimes be eliminated, sometimes be stopped or supported by panchakarma. So or healing of them can be supported by panchakarma.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you want to learn more, find that one, and you can send us a message, send us your email, and then we can send you the PDF with all the information. Happy to jump on a quick call with you and answer if you have any specific personal questions, or just send us a message. And yeah, we'd
yeah,
love to hear from you.
yeah. So, yeah, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. I love
Um,
talking to you.
it's been lovely as always. And perhaps we'll
Hmm.
do another one next week. We'll see if we can
Yeah. Yeah,
refine
if
the
there's
topic.
any, sorry, I was into
So go on.
no, I was just saying if there's any suggestions, if there's anyone who has a question or wants to know something more, then send us a message and we can tailor to what you need.
Yeah, exactly,
Mm.
exactly. Because I think what's happening is I'm getting a lot of questions from people with specific disorders, and they're wondering if panchakarma is suitable for that.
Mm.
Um, and I suppose I'll just quickly mention now, yes, there's nothing really that it's not going to be suitable for, even if your body's not strong enough to withstand some of the procedures. What you do there will still be beneficial.
Yeah.
So, yes, eczema, asthma, hormone issues, skin issues, thyroid, eating disorders, digestional issues. It's beneficial for all. So yeah, keep writing to us if you've got more questions, and we'll go from there.
Great.
Good.
Thank you,
All
Nina.
right. Have a lovely day, Lisa.
You
We'll
too.
see you next
Speak
time. Thank you,
soon.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.